Imagine for a second that there was a technology that was so safe that even if the worst thing that could possibly happen is that nobody gets hurt, no measurable medical effects at all. I know that sounds crazy, but just entertain this thought for a second. Let's say that technology was going along and the worst that possibly could happen did happen. And of course, nobody got hurt, but it scared a lot of people. How much money do you think it would be worth to prevent that from happening again? Well, let me give you an example, and that would be nuclear energy in the United States today, such that if you look at 3 Mile Island or even our own design of reactors, Fukushima, when those went meltdown, nobody got hurt. No measurable medical effects at all. The only effects from Fukushima were the panicked evacuation. They died because they were so terrified of radiation that they risked their lives and lost it to avoid something that would not have produced a measurable medical effect. So how much did those cost? Those kinds of accidents that produce no measurable health effects at all, how much do we spend to prevent them from happening again when they didn't even hurt anybody at all? They just cost this much money. Here's a review paper. I'll put it in the links in the comments as well. Let's start off with 3 Mile Island. Now, if you look at the radiation that was released and you look at how much we spent to prevent that from happening ever again, it was about $100,000 per annual background dose. So if you look at the regular dose that you get just from nature and what had incurred from 3 Mile Island, it's about $100,000 per annual dose per individual. $100,000 per person. Wow! For what was given. Now let's look at Fukushima. That was even more. It was $300,000 per annual background dose to an individual, just for doses that were comparable to natural background. Then the other major nuclear event accident that happened in the United States, where the worst that could possibly happen, the waste isolation pilot plant, where it released a trace amount of americium into the environment. It was $13 million per person. And so if you think, yeah, that's great, that we should be spending that kind of money. I mean, think about it. Is that really what we want to be spending that kind of money on? Instead of food and housing and clothing, transportation, infrastructure, education. Instead, because we're so terrified of radiation, this is the kind of money we spend when nothing harmful has happened to people as a result of any kind of nuclear accident. So something to think about. Let me know what you think. And again, comments for the paper. Bye.